Should we hear some proper jokes? Yeah? Well, I'll have to bring on someone else then. We'll bring on another guy. This is his first time again. We're back to newbies now. So please be as supportive as you can. Don't shout out. And just be really supportive. And give a huge, huge whoop and cheer for Mr. Dave Winter.
Alright guys, how we doing? Everyone good? Good, right, got that out of the way. Right, the other day I was babysitting for my little nephew, and this kid, he is not a smart kid. I mean, he is dumb as fuck, he really is. And the thing is, my sister, his mum, she always gives those sort of really stereotypical mum excuses. You know, they're like, oh, bless him, he just hasn't got a head for numbers. I personally think it was all the weed and alcohol she was doing while she was pregnant, but, you know, we agree to disagree. So I think to myself, I've got to help this little fella out, you know what I mean? So I sit down and think, well, what helped me when I was younger, because I wasn't particularly smart either, was Sesame Street. I mean, we all watch Sesame Street, right? Yeah! That raised us, that show raised us. So I sit down and I stick on an episode, and it just happens to be a very special episode, where Elmo's uncle, Jack, the most mundanely named Muppet in the world, gets shipped off to the Iraq War and is promptly killed. What the hell, Sesame Street? I'm trying to teach my little nephew here about numbers and shit. You're blowing up Muppets? That doesn't help. Imagine how that went down when his mum came to pick him up. So, what did you learn from Uncle Dave today? I learned that death comes for us all eventually. Absolute nightmare. So I'm not allowed to babysit anymore. And I'm actually quite confused, to be honest with you, Sesame Street. I'm confused about the concept of a Muppet going off to war. I mean, I know we're in an enlightened age where people of every race and colour and creed can do what they want, and that's brilliant. But does that really extend to small felt tickle monsters? Because that, to me, that is thinking way outside the box. And I can't have a problem with that. I mean, how does it even work? Does the puppeteer have to go with them? Because let's face it, that's a really fucking bad day at work, isn't it? You think you're going to teach kids about vegetables and numbers, you end up being shipped out to Iraq and blown up in the world's most adorable roadside bomb. It's not good, is it? To be fair to the episode, I actually thought it was quite tastefully done. It was quite well done, quite realistic. I thought the torture scene when they cut off his arm sticks and shipped him back to the family was a bit harsh, but there we go. No, I think I understand what they do. They try to prepare our kids, they try to raise them on the street, they try to get them ready for the harsh realities of life. And I respect that, but my problem with it is kind of like, where do you draw the line with that? Do you know what I mean? Where do you stop? I mean, there's all manner of dark stories like that. I don't know what they're going to do next. You know what I mean? Cookie Monster gets just a little bit too addicted to cookies, ends up sucking Grover's cock for a fix. Oscar the Grouch, he's tired of that little dustbin he has to live in. He starts the Occupy Sesame Street movement, ends up getting maced and beaten by an overzealous Sesame Street police officer. Bernie, domestically abusing Bert. Sorry, sir, how did you say your friend received his injuries again? You found on the stairs, didn't you? Bert. That's a little early impression for you. I was practicing that in the mirror last night. But I mean, this to me, this is not the Sesame Street that I remember. I don't know about you guys, I remember a wholesome, a good Sesame Street. And I thought, you know what? I will look this up on the Muppet Wikipedia, because there is one, and I know this, because to be honest with you, when you've been single for as long as I have, which is quite a while, there's really only two things you can do on the internet, right? You can look up pointless trivia to try and fill the void in your heart, or you can furiously masturbate. And after 4 times in one day, it was getting a bit sore. So Muppet trivia, it was. And I've got the Muppet Wiki preloaded on my phone. So this is what happened on the episode that aired October 22nd, 1991, because I figure that's around the age I would have started watching, and that's got to be a good, wholesome episode, right? Here's the synopsis. Snuffleupagus shares his pies with Big Bird in his alley. Big Bird tries to tell the adults of Sesame Street about Snuffy, but no one will believe him. That's not really wholesome at all, is it? Let's face it. What's the moral of that story? Oh, hey there, kids! If a big hairy stranger ever offers you delicious treats in an alleyway, don't bother telling your parents about it, because they will never, ever believe you. I think that's quite a sinister direction for a kids' TV show, if I'm being honest with you. And I think, actually, the dark stuff from today's age, that doesn't seem so bad when you consider there's an entire generation of children out there who are probably too afraid to report child abuse. So, realistically, these dark episodes they're doing now, I'm okay with that. I can get behind it. What I think is actually really messed up is the fact that in America, big old America, this enlightened country, they treat their Muppets better than they treat their homosexual community, right? Think about it, Muppets, they can get openly married. None of this like civil ceremony stuff, they can get actually properly married. They can openly go and serve in the armed forces without any fear of repercussions, and they get to walk around all day with a fish shoved up their arse and no one says a thing. Right? Muppets are living the dream. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Dave Winter, everybody!